Hello YouTube, welcome to another one of my Duel Links videos, and today I have for you a pure Gravekeepers build using balance. And I went with with a pure build because I really needed to rely on the balance skill, because I don't have 3 Necro Valley and I also don't have 3 Necro Valley Throne. So in order to maximize my chances of seeing these cards in the opening hand, I went ahead and used the balance skill. And that obviously limits the amount of room you have for other engines. Plus, I really didn't want to play Silent Magicians again, even though I think that is the better version of the deck, the one that has Silent Magician alongside Gravekeepers. But yeah, this worked pretty well. Unfortunately, I don't know if it's all Gravekeepers or just my version in particular. There's way too many counters. Things that are really hard to out, so you can't really you kind of want to play the long game with Gravekeepers. You want to play a control strategy, but at the same time you have to beat your opponent before they get to their boss monsters, because your outs are gonna be limited. But yeah, I still had a lot of fun with the deck. For the monster lineup, we have 3 Gravekeeper Spy. It's the only one I'm running multiples of, because it's the only one I want to open with. Flip special summon 1 Gravekeepers monsters with 1500 or less attack from your deck. It's really good. It's gonna deck thing your deck. It's gonna give you board presence, and it also has 2000 defense. So not every normal summonable monster is gonna be able to get over it. The rest, it's all one-offs. I have 1 recruiter that I normally use to search headmen while deck thinning at the same time. I have 1 Descendant. Descendant is super good. You can tribute 1 other face-up Gravekeepers monster to target 1 card your opponent controls, destroy that target. So yeah, he is your removal for back row, for monsters, for pretty much everything. But I still only run him at 1 because I still want to be able to run the rest of the monster lineup that you're about to see. Gravekeepers Headman, when you normal summon this guy, you can special summon a level 4 from your graveyard. It has to be a level 4, so you cannot special summon Recruiter or Nobleman. And the cool thing about this is that you can summon it in either in attack position or in face down defense position. So you can summon a spy and still get the flip effect, whenever it gets flipped face up, which is really good. You mainly want Headman to give you more targets for Descendant, or to bring Descendant back from the graveyard and then be able to destroy a card. The other target you have for the Headman is going to be a Spiritualist, so that you can go into your fusion summon. Nobleman, I like Nobleman because if my opponent has more than 1 monster, which is gonna happen a lot, where the game is a lot faster now. It's not it's not like before when you would just control 1 monster at a time. So if they destroy my Gravekeeper Spy, I need to protect my life points. I'm gonna summon Nobleman. If they attack into Nobleman and destroy that, then I can put a Gravekeeper Spy back on the field and face down, so I get another flip summon after that, which is pretty good. And then the Spiritualist, this card, if Necro Valley is on the field, you can fuse using materials from your field or hand, which is really good. Most of the time you're going to go into Supernaturalist, but you can go into Quintet Magician if you have the right hand, which is almost a win condition in its own, as you guys know how good that card is. Necro Valley Throne, activate 1 of these effects once per turn. Add 1 Gravekeeper's monster from your deck to your hand, or get an additional normal summon for a Gravekeeper's monster. Necro Valley cannot banish cards from the graveyard. You gain 500 attack and defense. It's really good. It stops all the graveyard play, which is amazing in this current meta. The only problem is there's way too many outs for it. You can protect it from destruction if you have Supernaturalist, but most back row removal nowadays is Cosmic Cyclone, so Supernatural is not going to protect you from that. And if you're going second and your opponent vomits all over the board, then the Necro Valley is not going to do anything, as of during your turn. So if you have Necro Valley, you want to go first. Otherwise, it's really, at least in this version, it hasn't been too good, but you need it. It's a Gravekeepers deck. my 2 spell techs, 1 enemy controller, and 1 Gravekeepers Steel. So Gravekeeper Steel, target 2 Gravekeeper monsters in your graveyard, add those targets to your hand. This allows me to get away with running single copies of all these other monsters that I mentioned and still just run triple spy. Same goes for Rite of Spirit, target 1 Gravekeeper's monster in your graveyard, special summon that target. This is great because you can even bring your fusion back in some cases, which is pretty amazing. And yeah, thanks to Rite of Spirit and Gravekeeper Steel is how I'm able to have more than one play with all these monsters, because it's really easy to get them back. And then the rest is just any back row I wanted to run. I put this guy here, Dark Mirror Force. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, banish all defense position monsters your opponent controls. This is for the boy Cositus, because I know that it's increased in popularity. I'm not gonna say that I'm responsible for that, but I have seen that a lot of people are having trouble with it, and I was like, you know what, let's just have an out for it. We might get a funny highlight if it happens, if not too big of a deal. Wall of Disruption and Floodgate Trap Hole. So this could, you know, be another trap hole or another Wall of Disruption. And yeah, that's gonna be it for the deck list. Let's go ahead and show you some replays. I've got Anderson and Kaiba. Kaiba plays like literally every deck in the entire game, so I have no idea. I could have played Ishizu with balance to get you know, character lines, but I didn't want to give my opponent any clues as to what I was playing. I was hoping they think I'm playing Triomins. Gold Sarcophagus. So we're going up against Metaphys. Banishes 2 Nephthys and 1 Daedalus. Gonna draw into Rite of Spirit. We're just gonna see our opponent play for a while. It's gonna banish Tyrant Dragon, search a Tyrant Dragon, and then search as a Metaphys, I think. Yep. So we're not gonna do much. Set 3 back row set or Gravekeeper Spy. He's gonna summon the Metaphys Tyrant Dragon. Gonna attack into my spy. Spy is gonna summon Nobleman. Nobleman is going to summon another spy. So we decked in by 2, and we're gonna be able to get another monster on the board, which is going to be our Gravekeeper's Recruiter. Now I'm gonna summon Descendant. Get rid of the back row first. Draw into Headman. Get rid of the Lupine. I couldn't target this because... Oh, actually, I could have targeted this, but I have an enemy controller, so we're gonna econ take per game after we special summon Recruiter back. But you know, I let him do all his long plays. He wouldn't even let me econ take per game. I don't think that's fair. Imagine, I was thinking, imagine if you could rate players based on duel interactions. I mean, I guess that wouldn't be fair because then you could like give a bad rating to a good player just because you lost. But it would be cool if it would show you like this person has gotten this many nice things like that. Alright, we got Master of Destiny. Oh, Desperado, by the way, just absolutely trashes this deck. I lost to Desperado counter traps more than I lost to any other deck using Gravekeepers, and it was really sad. But yeah, he destroys my Blast Spider, summons Desperado, goes for Neo's Fusion. The only thing that's gonna keep me alive is my Gravekeeper Spy. Very smart to not attack into Nobleman to give me another summon. Instead, it's just gonna destroy it. I don't get a summon and he gets a card. It must be fair. Look at this card advantage. We did pick up the Wall of Disruption. So we're gonna set another Spy. Activates Cup of Ace, gets a tail, spend all his 3 heads on the Desperado. Neo's Fusion again, look at his board. I activate 1 Wall of D and then he's out of it. I'm like, come on, man. You just vomit all over the board. Double Neo's Desperado. I activate 1 Wall of D and you get salty. I don't understand why people were getting salty when I was playing this deck, honestly. Here we have 1% NAW, 1% NA. And this is a mirror match. This is why I like playing this guy, whatever his name is, Hogan, whatever. Because they don't know that I'm playing Gravekeepers, and my man over here is going to help your boy out by activating Necro Valley turn 1. I'm like, hey, how nice! I only have 2 in my deck and I didn't draw into it. So now we're gonna search Spiritualist immediately. Normal summon Spiritualist, go into or Supernaturalist. I didn't even go over this card. I assume you guys know what he does. He gains attack and defense equal to the combined original levels of the materials used for this fusion summon times 100. While Necro Valley is on the field, this card and any card in your field zone cannot be destroyed by card effects. During your main phase, you can activate this effect during the end phase of this turn. Add 1 Gravekeepers monster or 1 Necro Valley card from your deck to your hand. Alright, so we're gonna set double Rite of Spirit, which is kind of broken that we open like that. His Spy is gonna give him a Recruiter. No sense in for him going into the other guy, Descendant or whatever his name is, because he wasn't gonna be able to destroy my my Supernaturalist. Instead, he goes for this guy, Golden Dragon Summoner, tributes the Recruiter, summons a Silent Magician. So this, I think, is honestly the superior version. I just got lucky that I didn't brick with Necro Valley because he got his own Necro Valley, and I just took advantage of that. So we're gonna use Headman to summon Spiritualist, go into Supernaturalist again. Activate Steel. Here I was trying to bait the negation, and he let it go through, and I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. Now I'm just gonna keep my throne, and I was able to get 2 monsters from my graveyard. I'm gonna activate the effect, no reason to attack. Sets another back row, and now we can go for the play I wanted. I have 5 different named monsters in my hand, art, and field. Quintet Magician, blow it all up. Summons level 8. I'm gonna bring this. I'm gonna attempt to bring Descendant back with Rite of Spirit. I could have also bring Supernaturalist back and just attack over the Silent Magician level 8. Again, they don't let me finish them off. I'm out here trying, man. And what do we got here? Another Loomis. I don't think this was Gravekeepers though. Could have been. I don't remember. We're going second. Oh, this was Elemental Lords. That's right. So I didn't know if this was the trap card, but when he didn't activate it immediately, I was like, okay, we get a free Necro Valley. Necro Valley really puts this deck in a pickle, especially if you're running it with Alistair. But yeah, I never saw him switch out with the trap, so I'm like, okay, it must be a different back row. We're just gonna set Spy, set a Floodgate Trap Hole, and he's gonna flip his guy face down. He's kind of just decked in right there. Goes for the Light and Dark. Sends the Silent Magician, brings out Alistair the Invoker. He can still fuse with Invocation, he just cannot banish. Oh, actually, he can banish from the field, he just can't banish from the graveyard. So he's gonna banish the Alistair, use the Nalu from the hand to bring about Cositus. Luckily, we have the Floodgate, so we're gonna flip that back boy face down. And I actually, I don't know what happens there. I'm pretty sure I get rid of the Cositus before the end of the turn, but because he flipped it face down, I guess he was gonna be able to flip it back face up. But yeah, he tries to get the Invocation back into the deck. My Necro Valley prevents that. Spy is going to summon a Descendant, and we immediately destroy the Cositus. We don't want to deal with him. Summon Headmaster. Now I have 2 more pops. We're gonna go for the field spell because I still had a slight suspicion, like, hey, it could be the trap. He's just not using it. Flips my Descendant face down. It doesn't matter because he was summoned the previous turn. And then I destroy the enemy controller. And that's completely fine. He top decks Palace. Can you imagine? Top decks the Palace. He's going to search for Lapu. and now he has a spell and trap negation. But his deck is so small that I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna force him to send a card to negate with Lap. If I feel no delays after that, that means he's completely out of Element Sabers in the deck, and that's a win for us. Especially because even though we take this damage, he cannot attack. So we open Rite of Spirit. We're gonna destroy the monster. Obviously, he didn't send anything to flip me face down, meaning that there's not delay at all. So he's out of monsters. Summons Invoker. He can't banish. From the graveyard, and he can't attack. So we're gonna summon Descendant, and then he scoops it up because that was basically my win. I could have fused there into Spiritualist or Supernaturalist, excuse me. And yeah, easy win. But to be fair, I had the Necro Valley turn 1, and it definitely stopped a lot of what the Element Saber wants to do. That's why the few times I've gone up against Gravekeepers, when using Element Sabers, I prioritize negating that Necro Valley. So otherwise your whole fusion engine just dies. Okay, 6 Samurai is going to normal summon a Kisan, set 2 back row. So we're just gonna set, or Nobleman, he's gonna destroy Nobleman. I'm gonna summon a Gravekeeper Spy, and this is great because obviously one of those is going to be a dual wheel, so I didn't want to try to summon Spiritualist and then just lose. That's why I just went for the Nobleman. Hope that he wouldn't go into Armades and kill me, and it paid off because we're gonna summon Descendant right here, force him to activate dual wheel. We still haven't summoned, so now I can activate Necro Valley, summon the Spiritualist, dual wheel number 2. Imagine activating 2 dual wheels. Activate Necro Valley again, activate Necro Valley Throne to get an additional normal summon. And then he scoops. Like, I don't understand why all these people are scooping when they have such amazing hands. Do you know what I mean? Like, that guy had double dual wheel, resolved, double dual wheel, and then was like, you know what, that's not enough. I'm out of here. But yeah, really fun deck. But again, I will say that I do not think it's the strongest version of Gravekeepers. It's just what I had to build in order to see my Necro Valley and see my Necro Valley Throne more consistently, that if I try to just run a different skill and, you know, not guarantee a spell in my opening hand. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, like, comment, and subscribe if you want, and until next time.